What's good, y'all? Game 3 of the NBA Finals is in the books, and I'm sorry for the delay on some of these videos, especially this one. It's a quick turnaround to later tonight when you guys are seeing this video is Game 4. I still work a full-time job. I don't get paid off this YouTube stuff yet. So I'm sorry. I gotta have time to record and edit and still go to work and all that. So if there's some delay in these videos, that's why. My fault. Regardless, though, in this Game 3, the Denver Nuggets took back home court from the Heat, beating them down in Miami on their home court, led by the two amazing performances of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. They both put up 30-point triple-doubles, which is the first time in finals history that two teammates put up 30-point triple-doubles. And I'm pretty sure I saw a stat that they're only like one of 8 total players to do it in the finals. So really incredible performance from both those guys. We are going to start by highlighting Nikola Jokic's dominance in this game. He put up 32 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists. An insane stat line. He now has the most 30, 20, 10 playoff games in history. I think he has 3. I'm pretty sure the only other guys to ever do it was Wilt once, and I think Bill Russell once. Where Jokic really turned it on, though, was in that third quarter where the Denver Nuggets fully pulled away from the Miami Heat. And he dropped 12 points in that quarter, and it was just bucket after bucket after bucket. Some of them are really tough shots. I watched this game with my roommate, who is a big Miami Heat fan. I'm no disrespect to you Miami Heat fans, but I'm kind of rooting for the Nuggets just a little bit. So when Jokic was going crazy, I was kind of rubbing it in a little bit. He just went in, post up, and just does his little floater up, cash. Then he did the turnaround one-legged fade, cash. Like, it's shots like that where if that was against my team, I would be sick to my stomach. They are such tough shots that Nikola Jokic takes, but he makes it look so easy. It's just the flick of the wrist, the calm little touch, and it's just in the bucket, no matter what, just in. And also, I noticed that the Nuggets were running a very high rate of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic pick and rolls. I feel like more than usual. To start off the game, they did that a bunch in that first quarter to try to get Jamal really going. And then just throughout the rest of the game, just different things to get. Obviously, both these guys were super hot in this game. So just getting the ball in both of their hands, either of their hands, really. Speaking of Jamal Murray, he had a hell of a bounce back performance. After just dropping 18 points in the Game 2 loss, he came back and dropped 34 points along with 10 rebounds, 10 assists for just his second career triple-double. To have that in a finals game with your teammate also dropping a 30-point triple-double, just really insane stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you guys though, for that last rebound, he was 100% just stat padding for that. Wanted to get that triple-double. And no disrespect, I like stat padding. I mean, realistically, when we look down 10 years from now, no one's going to remember that he got that like last second rebound to officially get the triple-double. They're just going to be like, yo, remember that dominant performance of Jokic and Jamal Murray? And both of them were dominant. There's nothing wrong with that. I personally don't have an issue with stat padding unless it's like OD. As I said when I was talking about Jokic with the pick and roll between him and Jamal, the Nuggets went to that very early in the first and second quarter specifically. They went to it very frequently, and I think that really just kind of got Jamal back into rhythm. I think Michael Malone wanted to make a point to say, like, Jamal, I know you had a shaky game. You're good. Just come back into it, get it. Played a lot of heavy minutes this game, pretty much the whole game besides those little Reggie Jackson minutes at the end of the first half. That early effort to get Jamal going early on in this game worked to perfection, though, as he had 20 points at halftime, already eclipsing his 18 points of last game, as I mentioned. Where Jamal really took over this game, though, was in that second quarter, where he had 12 points, and what really stood out to me was the fact that he was 3 for 4 from 3 in that quarter, hit all 3 of his threes in that quarter. He was just hitting everything, getting to the baskets. He was scoring on all facets, just rolling. And I mentioned in my Game 2 breakdown video, when he's not scoring, the Nuggets are a completely different team. It forces Jokic to do a lot more than what he already does for this team. They need Jamal Murray's great perimeter shot creation in these playoffs, specifically these finals. He's had double-digit assists in each of these 3 first games. His playmaking is another big step for them. He is so vital to this Denver Nuggets offense and this Denver Nuggets team. If he's not rolling, they might not win that game. That's how important he is. And then my boy Christian Braun. This series is making me a diehard Christian Braun fan. I already really like the guy, but now he's got to be one of my boys. I'm not gonna lie. I just praised him very heavily in the Game 2 as well. He came back and did tenfold what he did in that game. 15 points off the bench, 4 rebounds. He was 7 from 8 from the field, and the one shot that he missed, it was a 3, and he got the offensive rebound, and the Nuggets, I believe, scored on that possession too. So he had no faults in this game. And those 7 other shots that he did hit were all off easy layups, cuts, just being at the right place at the right time, knowing where you're supposed to be on the court, having elite level spacing, and just seeing the whole floor, knowing where you have to be to get open for your teammates when they are all focused on Jokic. Just slip down baseline, easy bucket right there. He had a few tough lays too, I'm not gonna lie. I think he had an N1 in there against Jimmy Butler. Kyle Lowry did a little contest on him. He just got up there. He even drove to the basket to get one too. One that really sticks out to me was they were throwing a pass to Duncan Robinson. He just tips it out, gets out there, and a mean dunk, sending a message, yelling at the crowd. Miami called a timeout right after that. He came in and impacted the game. That's all you need from your role players. And for him to be a rookie doing this is insane. He did win the championship just last year in the NCAA championship. So I guess it does. He's got it in his blood. He is a winner. He knows how to win basketball games, and he's doing it at the highest level right now. Luckily for the Nuggets, the elite performances of those three led them to a victory in this game. But if we're being honest, everyone else for them didn't really show up. Jeff Green and Aaron Gordon both were pretty solid this game. You know, Jeff Green, he had very limited minutes in this one, but he still did his thing. Aaron Gordon, he came in, he was rebounding the ball, playing decent defense on Jimmy Butler. Besides that, though, KCP, Bruce Brown, and Michael Porter Jr. were a combined 3 of 16 from the field, which is atrocious. MPJ has been struggling very, very, very heavily in these playoffs, just shooting the ball and offensively. And in the first game, you know, I was hyping him up because he had a good defensive effort. He had a good rebounding effort. Now it's kind of, that's slowed down more. They're kind of pulling him away. I think that's why they went to the Reggie Jackson minutes at the end of that first half, because they weren't really trusting Michael Porter Jr. on the court. That's just me, though. Usually, I don't see another reason why they would have Reggie Jackson on the court. No disrespect to Reggie Jackson. It's the NBA Finals, bro. Like, lock in. But like I said, it doesn't really matter because a win is a win, and Denver was able to seal this win while basically only having 3 players play good. Because it was majority only those 3 players, though, the Heat were sticking pretty close to it pretty much the whole game until that third quarter, until Nikola Jokic locked in, turned it on, and then it just got away from them. As always, though, starting off with the positives for the losing Miami Heat team, Jimmy Butler was finally aggressive looking for his shot. It's kind of, you know, a bittersweet thing, though, because he had 28 points, which is the most he had so far, on 24 shots, which, again, is the most shots he shot so far. But you would looking for him to be just a little bit more efficient, maybe get to the free throw line a little bit more on those. But at the same time, I do trust Jimmy Butler to come back next game and hit a lot of those shots that he was missing. There was a lot of those mid-range shots that he normally hits. A lot of those just get deep into the basket right at the rim that he normally makes. So I expect him next game to be more efficient. But I really hope he does keep that aggression up, because this game, it was day and night. Him getting to the basket, driving hard to get to the basket, looking for his shot, pulling up in the mid-range. He was way more aggressive than he has in both those first 2 games combined. He needs to continue that and just hope the efficiency starts to, you know, catch up. And through these first 2 games, I have had 0 negative things to say about Bam Adebayo. He's been great defensively, great offensively, rebounding the ball, looking for his shot, aggressive. This game, though, he fell way too much in love with the mid-range. If you look at just strictly the counting numbers, he had 22 points, 17 rebounds. You know, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty good, until you realize he shot 33% on all 2s. He only shot 2s. It's not like he was chucking 3s. You know, that's not how he plays. He just shot like a stupid amount of mid-ranges, in my opinion, for Bam Adebayo to be super athletic, 6'9", muscular. In each of these games so far, even this one that I'm talking about, he wasn't aggressive and everything, getting to the basket. He's had a monster dunk in each of these series so far, or each of these games, so far. He needs to use that athleticism, that strength, that body that he is given, and get to the basket. Stop going to the elbow and just pulling up. He had a snatchback that he pulled up for. What are you doing at 6'9", center, doing a snatchback mid-range pull-up? Like, bam. Come on, bro. Come on. As always, though, his defense was still immaculate. The Heat were trying something a little bit different, where on those pick and rolls that I was talking about, the Jokic and Jamal Murray pick and rolls, they would blitz Jamal Murray a few times, very heavily actually. And Bam, of course, as he was guarding Jokic, he would use his big body and get up there and crowd. And he caused a few turnovers. One specifically I thought was going to spark their comeback. It was in that third quarter where the Denver Nuggets were pulling away. Bam, he blitzed them, and then Jamal Murray had to do a jump pass over here, and he went to Gabe Vincent, got out in transition, and they were going. I thought that was going to be a spark. It wasn't, but it's still something to look at. Jamal Murray did have 7 turnovers, a lot of those coming from him getting blitzed by Bam Adebayo and by that second defender in the pick and roll. That's something very positive the Heat should look at. That they see that works. That can cause some turnovers and cause, disruption in Jamal Murray, even though he did have a very good game. Caleb Martin also decided to finally leave Boston and arrive at the NBA Finals so he could play for the Miami Heat. What a big surprise. Glad you're finally here. All jokes aside, though, I know in Game 2 he was sick. He was battling an illness, so I'm not going to give him too much slack on that. But in the first 2 games, he was pretty bad. Not even pretty. He was very bad, especially when you compare it to his elite production that he did all 7 games throughout that Boston series. In this game, he played solid. He played his first solid game in the finals. He had a little 8-0 run by himself in that second quarter, but on the other side of it, he finished with 10 total points. So it's a give and a take. At least you can see that he still has that ability to hit multiple shots in a row and get hot and, really be productive for this team. Hopefully that could build some confidence going up into the next game. And very similar to the Denver Nuggets, besides that, no one else really showed up. Gabe Vincent was in foul trouble early on, and I'm not gonna lie, a few of those foul calls were kind of shaky. The one where it was like a jump ball, he was guarding Jokic, they were inbounding, and he jumped up and tipped it. They said he grabbed his leg. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that's affecting Jokic like that. I think it was a bad pass. Jokic couldn't handle it, and I don't think it should have been a foul on Gabe Vincent. Regardless, though, he was in foul trouble, and then when he was on the court, he really couldn't get into a flow because he was out of his normal minutes, the normal, rotations that he's used to, getting into his shots, stuff like that. And that's a very big hit for this Miami Heat team because he has been consistently a top 3 player for them throughout these finals. Max Strus went back to not really shooting the ball that well. He shot 1 for 7. Duncan Robinson and Kyle Lowry, they both shot efficiently, but I felt like their impact wasn't really anything crazy. I didn't feel like they needed to be on the court, and when they were off the court, I didn't feel like they were missed, if that, if you kind of get what I'm saying. And as always, at the end of these videos, I like to say what I think the losing team should do to bounce back and win the next game. For this Miami Heat team, for them to win the next game, Jimmy Butler, you need to stay more aggressive for sure. Keep hunting that shot. Some of them weren't falling. I trust in you. Keep hunting that shot. Bam Adebayo, keep your aggression up and trying to score, but just chill out on the middies. Just a little bit, chill out on them. Still shoot them. I know that's your game. When they're hitting, and, that's valid. Still get to the basket. Use your athleticism. Use your strength. Use your elite finishing ability. Gabe Vincent, stay out on the floor. Again, like I said, some of those foul calls were shaky. They can go either way. I'm sure if you're a Miami Heat fan, you think that the ref sold you. Gabe Vincent, try to stay more, conservative in that. Don't get in foul trouble. Stay on the court. This team desperately needs you and your production. And last but certainly not least, the Miami Heat need to sell out and stop Jamal Murray. Michael Porter Jr. has not been shooting well. Help up off him and stop Jamal Murray. KCP, you haven't been shooting well. Help off him and stop Jamal Murray. Aaron Gordon, if he's just out there on the 3, help off him and stop Jamal Murray. If I'm the Miami Heat, I'm letting Jokic play one-on-one, and I'm double-teaming Jamal Murray every single chance I get. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the description, there'll be links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch y'all.